Hello, my friends. I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table. And this is kind of a rare day for me, a very kind of special, very appreciative. One of y'all, one of my subscribers, was very generous and sent me a box, right? And Mr. Dr. Death, 443, is that right? 440? Yeah, 43. Dr. Death 43. He's actually a fellow Iowan. It's funny how a lot of people say, well, you're an American. I'm from Iowa. I'm an American, right? It's just kind of weird how that plays out, where you associate your roots at. Anyway, so it took us a couple weeks for me to get it. Now he shipped it out, and because I still maintain the post office box in my hometown, which is where we lived until this life saga issue became a problem, and didn't live there. But I maintained my post office box. I picked it up in the early 80s when I was a teen, and I figure I'm going to just keep it until I'm too old to drive out there or I'm dead, right? It just makes things a little simpler for mailing stuff in and out, that kind of stuff. The downside is usually we only go out there every 2 weeks, every other week, because we also bank out there. My hometown bank and stuff is out there, so it's kind of goes with the territory kind of thing. We're creatures of habit in a lot of ways. We get to a point in our lives where we are not keen on change. Whether it's your favorite grocery store. I mean, I go to a certain chain of stores because I have my whole life, and there are other chains that are just equally as good. Their products are just a little different in some ways. The generic in-house stuff that I grew up with, we're used to it. So even that said, you can go from one location to a different location on the other side of town and have the entire layout of the store ass backwards from what you're used to. Walmarts are just as bad. I mean, the Walmart that we are forced to frequent on as infrequently as possible, and are in Altoona, is kind of halfway between where I live and where I used to live, and it was the main go-to shopping area for everybody coming out from east of the east of Greater Des Moines. So it was just habit. You get used to driving 30 minutes. Between one way is 25-30 minutes. You don't think about it. You do that every day, a couple times a day, 8 times a week. It becomes habit. The only thing that hurts is the cost of the gas, right? For other people who are used to much quicker turnaround and stuff, that makes its toll and stuff. So anyway, that also plays a part of it. I've been trying to get back into some of this myself, and it's so damn expensive. And I have had a couple of y'all donate some PDFs via email, and a couple of you hooked me up with an access to a couple of websites where a lot of PDFs are stored, which was awesome. I mean, really, I'm still mining that for things that I'm one thing at a time kind of thing. And then I have one of y'all is Terrence, who's been very generous and sent me some financial support via by a cup of coffee site. Now, I do post partial chapter entries from my second would-be novel on that thing for people to read if they're interested in laughing at my stupidity and crazy attempt to be an author. So it is what it is. But so far it's netted almost $50, which I actually was able to use to help pay for part of the Kickstarter program or thing for Battletech, for which I'm really grateful. Yeah. And the PDFs, geez, I mean, I could not begin to have bought all the books that I missed the good old-fashioned way. It's these PDFs that's really come out of the woodwork to really give me a chance to delve deeper into stuff that I was missing. I mean, I just recently finished a source book for the almost the current era, the era leading up to this era, and which I was missing because a lot's happened in the last proverbial couple of years for us in the game. If you didn't weren't involved in what was going on 2 or 3 years ago, and print wise and lore wise and production wise from CGL, then you're kind of missing things. So when you step back in the picture and you pick up a novel, and it's a good read, but there's a lot of references to things that you don't know because they're references to stuff you haven't read, and that's typical for anybody new. That's one of the challenges for new readers, so or new aficionados of BattleTech. So when I saw that the CGL with the Humboldt bundle had put together that big package for some of the legend novels, hey, that was well worth anybody's effort to get. Then you opens a lot of stuff that you might not have been able to buy in the original paperback versions, because Jesus, mine are in poor shape in some cases, and there was a limited run on them. It just is what it is. The fact that they have so many of them in digital is an awesome thing. I mean, you go back, like I said, 30 years, that wasn't a thing. And when stuff went out of business, you're kind of hosed. Or if the production just only ran 2,000 items because that's the only thing that could get enough people to buy half that. And there's Mama in the background saying, hey, let's take a look at what DrDeath's sent us, right? Well, shipping alone is $17, and that's here in the state of Iowa, for Christ's sake. Let's see. We got the book. I can feel that. All right. So, what is this? We are looking at Historical Liberation of Terror 1. Man, that looks like it's brand new too, dude. I mean, awesome. That's a $35 book when it came out, not including the shipping and handling it would cost to ship it out. Yeah. Camera down. Wow, alright. I look forward to reading that. And I'll have to, I think they have the PDF version of the number 2. I just haven't printed it out. Awesome. That's a great thing, man. Appreciate it. Right? And there's something else in here, right? It's a box. And I know this is what you've mentioned. So this is awesome. An exclusive from Barnes & Noble, Wolves Dragoon Assault Star. Right on, man. That is a star. It's 5 mechs and not 4. Wow. See, the damn boxes are really nice. You know, it makes you almost wish if you're wealthy enough that you could buy them and buy a box set and never open the set and keep it mint condition for displays on your shelves. Because once I open the box, the mechs are coming out of there, and they're going to end up in some kind of container to store them, and because there's just not room to have. Well, I've only got 2. This is my second box right now. I mean, really, unless you count the mechs that came in that starter box I got last year, which I suppose they would count. I have to look at them and see if they're the same scale. I've been meaning to take some of these plastic ones and set them up right in row with my Rauparthas and see how big of a difference they are, because I've heard they're slightly larger than the older lead stuff, which is fine, unless you're trying to mismatch brands, and not only eras but brands is what it is. Now I guess I got to start painting, right? Jeez. You talk about a train wreck waiting to happen right there, man. Oh, geez, I haven't painted in, well, 25 years? Maybe 22, 23 years. It's pretty damn close to it. I mean, aside from painting walls and stuff that, here at the house, I mean, I haven't painted any minis in a long, long time. And so I have to remember how. It's the detail, right? It's one of the advantages of having this little gizmo here. If you really have issues like I do with eyesight these days, so being able to get in and see things on a detail, that'd be nice. The next trick is figuring out what kind of paints to use. I know everybody's the quote professional artist painters here on YouTube, the neo professionals who are damn good at what they're doing, are using those army paints and other higher brand, higher end expensive paints, and I don't know what the difference between them are and a cheaper version, because once again I work on a horrible tight budget, and some days, some weeks are much harder than others. I mean, you know, every day I worry about a lot of that sort of stuff. It is probably much more than I should. We're keeping our head above water, but Jesus, that water just keeps creeping up no matter where you go, no matter how hard you try. It's just driving me a little bit crazy. So that's where I get a lot of peace and relief by doing these videos, because I know I'm not. There are people that are far better and more eloquent than I am when it comes to this stuff, and that's just the hard truth and cold facts of the world. But hey, Dr. Death, this is awesome. I mean, really, I really am kind of speechless, to be honest. One thing is send somebody a PDF that probably didn't cost anything to them, or very little, to through an email. It's another thing to, Jesus, you got about $60, $70 worth of stuff in here, plus plus the shipping and handling. It's damn near $100, man. That's awesome, dude. I mean, really appreciate it. Going on, my friends, this is Rick, and hey, if you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell